Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I will be showing you how I do my nails at home. So excuse my cat, he likes to see what I'm doing. He always likes to monitor everything. So these are my nails after 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks. And as you can see, there is nothing wrong with them structurally. They're not falling off, there is no lifting. But because there's color, let's remove all this top layer to see what's going on underneath. In case that there is no lifting or anything, which I usually don't get, I haven't gotten lifting in over a year now, maybe even a little bit longer, all because of the prep, which you will see in this video. So right here, I'm doing this with my left hand, and this is my non-dominant hand. So it is a little bit tricky, but if you practiced enough and if you know how to work with the drill, it will be better. It's a lot easier to remove the old product, and this is all in real time. This is not sped up, so it goes pretty fast if your drill bit is actually of good quality. And this one, I've honestly had it for a very long time, and I keep using this one even though I bought new ones, but those new ones for whatever reason did not fulfill my expectations. This one is still working well, and I'm using it only on myself, so I do sanitize and everything. So this is of course sped up because everything is the same. You just need to, if you're doing your non-dominant hand, you just need to find an anchor for the drill, for the hand that's holding the drill, and you will have to maneuver your dominant hand because it's a lot easier that way. It's very using the drill is not that easy, and you have to have really good command, so be careful. If you're not very practiced, please do not use it because you can hurt your nail very badly. So right here, I am proceeding with the cuticle cure, and I'm using orange wood stick. This portion is very, very important. You have to remove all the dead cuticle that's stuck to your nail. So you have to push back the cuticle, and after you've done that, you will see these little flakes coming off, but this is not done yet. This is just scratching the surface. You really need to clean it. You have two options here. You can do the dry cuticle clean, or you can do the wet cuticle clean. Depending on the day, depending on the time when I do this, I like to either use both of them, or I like to use just the dry one. But my favorite method you will see in this one. Right here, before I proceeded to actually finishing up the cuticle, I decided to shape the nails. So this is how I do it. So practically when you do it, try to have as many strokes on one side as on the other, especially if you're trying to get this almond shape, which is my favorite by far. And so this is Sally Hansen cuticle remover. It doesn't have to be Sally Hansen, it can be any other brand. There's a bunch of brands that are very good, and they all do the same thing. So you put it around your cuticle. I sometimes put too much, but it's really not necessary. Leave it on for 5 to 10 seconds, and then use the orange wood stick to scrape everything out. You do not need to use the metal tool to push your cuticle back. Metal tool can actually be very sharp sometimes, especially if it's not good quality, and that can damage your nail. So orange wood stick is the best thing that you can use, honestly. It's very soft and it's not going to damage your nail, and it's going to help you remove the dead skin with this liquid. So I do this for all the nails, but before I proceed, I like to clean it up and check if everything is okay, and to see if I have any dead cuticle around my nail, and I like to remove it because it's going to result in much better looking manicure. Try to use this little cuticle nipper that I just used. Has become a little bit dull, so try to buy one that's very good quality so that this does not happen. And I cannot tell you how many services you will be able to do with one, but after you've done with it, do not throw it away. You might need it. So after I've done all this, I decided to go with the flame bit and with the nail drill, and to remove the excess, that skin that's just lying in the areas that I cannot reach with my hand file. Hand files sometimes can make cuts in your cuticle, and that can really hurt. So nail drill for me is a must. After I've done that, I proceeded to filing and shaping all other nails. And I used, eventually when I finished that, I used the buffer side. This is this spongy side of this nail file, hand file. So right here you can see what the finished result looks like, all nice and tidy and ready for the new product to be put on. Mind you, I did not remove all the product from my nails because there was no need, there was no lifting, so I just removed the top part and did some rebalancing, and now I'm putting the primer. I dehydrated my nails with the alcohol, and now I'm using primer. I always put 2 coats of primer. I put 1 coat, let it dry, and then I put another coat. After the primer, I always use the base gel. I always use base gel on the entire nail, no matter if I have the product on it or not. I know that some nail techs do not do this, but for me this is crucial. It showed that sometimes the new product does not want to adhere to the top layer of the previous gel, even though it's supposed to. I am using Ibd Gel, and this gel, mind you, is not the best one, but this is the only good quality gel that I can right now obtain in the place where I live, and it was online. And why I don't like this gel, it's very runny, so this one I would not recommend for beginners. For me, it's good because it helps me the way that I lay the material. It helps me while I do one side, the gravity does the other practically. So it's a lot easier for me to put it. But please bear in mind that the more liquid the gel is, especially if the temperature where you live is high, it will be more difficult for you because it will be flooding the cuticles. So it's always good to have something like, for example, I have this diamond that's like helping me keep my nail towards the ground. I know you cannot really see it, but it is turned towards the ground so that the gel does not run into the cuticles, but it runs towards the center of the nail and the top of the nail. So I just put the biggest bead closer to the cuticle, and then from there I start spreading it, and I do not leave a lot of gel near the cuticle. That's the worst thing you can do. The cuticle part does not need a lot of gel. Don't put too little, but don't put too much. Also, make sure that you leave a little space in between the cuticle and the gel, like hair width, little space. If it happens that the gel does run into the cuticle, take the orange wood stick and clean it up before curing it. It's very important. So what you saw me doing that thumbnail, that was the real time. It doesn't take long after you practiced for some time, and don't rush. That's the only thing I can tell you. As you can see here, this is the first layer. I decided to go for the second one because I needed a little bit more structure. It seemed a little bit flat. Make sure that all your nails have the stress point in the right place. How are you going to distinguish where the stress point is? Just push the tip of your nail downwards, and where you see the white showing up on your nail, that's your stress point, and that's where your nail should be the strongest, which means that that's where you're going to put apex on. That means the thickest part of the nail is going to be right there. One thing that I really like to use is the gravity. So once I lay the product, I like to turn my nail horizontally upside down and leave it there for a few seconds and pay attention to what's going on. After that, I cure each nail immediately. In the lamp, I use LED lamp, and it takes 60 seconds. After that, I proceed with buffing, filing, buffing, and shaping The shape is already there. Like you have to do your primary shaping before you start doing the nails, before you start putting the product, because afterwards it's not going to work. But then after you've put the product on, you really have to get in, and you have to be careful not to file too much, do not press too much. If you put the product right, you do not need to file too much. But perfect that area around the cuticle, perfect the shape, and most importantly, after that, buff the surface of the nail, because buffing the surface will make it more smoother for the next segment of this manicure. I decided to leave this portion of me filing the nails. It does take a while, especially when you do nails on yourself. And trust me, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, nobody likes to do nails on themselves. I do, however, enjoy it, but it's always easier to just go and have that service done for you. But I don't trust others, and especially in a new country where I live right now. Back at home, I did have someone, but I realized that when I do my nails, they last far longer. I never have any lifting, and they look amazing even after 6 weeks. So it's all about the prep. It's all about the products that you use, and always try to use something that's good quality. Please do not order stuff from Wish or AliExpress, because all of them are fake, and you don't know what's in those products. They haven't gone through any quality control, and you might end up having your nails burned, infections, and a lot of things. So just do not do that. Go to your local store that sells good products that you know that you can trust, and that's it. There's always a store that sells good stuff. Like, there are always stores that are going to sell really bad products, cheap products. Do not go for that. So now I am putting a layer of this beautiful purple color I just bought. This is Mexican brand, and to my surprise, it's actually produced in Mexico. It's not just like it's bottled in Mexico, it's actually really produced in Mexico. And I've been very pleased to use this. And also a funny thing, it's very cheap. I don't know why. It lasts long, and the funny thing is you do not even need to put the top coat on this nail, on this after you put this color. I usually always put 2 layers of the gel polish, but this time I decided to put 2 layers on the thumb, and on the rest of the nails I just put 1 layer. You will see later why. I actually wanted to have like 2 or 3 different shades of it, but I ended up having only 2 shades, and the darker one is on the thumb, to just see what it looks like. And after I've put the gel polish on top, I then proceeded and put the top gel, but the matte top gel, because I want to do a design. And for the design to be working and sticking well, matte top coat is the way to go, because that one will allow you to do any kind of design, to draw and paint and do a bunch of stuff, and they are not going to fall off. So I decided to go with a bunch of flowers. Now I'm going to speed everything up, because there is no need for you to just watch everything in real time. This will depend on your skill. This will also depend on your concentration. After some time, you just get the gist of it, and it goes very, very fast, very quickly. But bear in mind, if you're doing it with your non-dominant hand like I'm doing here, it tends to be a pain in, well, behind. So I just proceed with adding flowers and adding little petals. And mind you, I decided to go for like a little bit more of the gel to make them 3D. This made me actually needing to do a little bit extra drying of the gel polish, just to be sure that everything is nice and done, and so that it doesn't wrinkle up. Make sure that you're using a brush that's very, very thin. This brush wasn't this thin. I actually cut it so that it has only a few strands of hair. Pardon me if you can hear background noise. There's some kind of work going on in the building where I live, and it's very annoying. It feels like they're drilling my mind. When you do this, make sure that in between every flower and every petal, not every petal, but every flower, that you cure for 30 seconds at least. For those nails where you used a lot of gel, make sure that you cure for 1 minute in total. Do not believe those. Some people will tell you that overcuring is an issue and stuff. There is no such a thing as overcuring. There is a thing such as undercuring. If the product is not cured enough, that can cause a lot of issues for you, for your nails. Not only that your manicure will not look good, but it will also cause a lot of problems with the structure of the nail, with the integrity of the nail, with the strength of the nail. So do not pay attention to that. My advice would be to use lamps that cure, that's like LED and UV and can cure both. These lamps are weaker in terms of like, they're not as aggressive as UV lamps are. And these ones are much more friendly in terms of money. And this one I actually purchased. This one was from China, but I purchased it in the store. Lamps, all the lamps come from China, so you don't have to worry about it. Just find one that is actually of a better quality. So once I've done the design that I wanted, I proceeded to add some little dots. And when I did that, I went in with the top gel, again, matte top, because I wanted my nails to be matte. And now I'm using shiny top gel just to make these little flowers accented so that they shine and they create this beautiful contrast to everything else. And this will also make them extra 3D, which I really wanted. So I hope that I covered everything. You definitely need to have primer, dehydrator primer, a good base coat, and very good gel. And also after that, you really need to have a very good file. Hand file is a must. And buffer, of course, gel polish, and eventually you will need top coat. My advice is to have matte top coat and to have shiny top coat. Without them, you will not really be able to finish all your designs and everything. Yes, some gel polishes like this one, for example, do not need a top coat to be done, to be finished, but my advice is to have those because it just completes everything and seals everything in. So in the next clip, I will show you what my nails look like. This is pretty much the whole tutorial in depth, and I will try to make one more about how I clean my nails again in depth and explain everything to you. I decided to leave some of the nails to be matte and the other ones to have this 3D shiny portions. It's totally up to you what you want to do. You don't really have to do this. You can do anything to your heart's desire. I just feel like having flowers this season. Eventually, I decided to leave a few nails completely matte just for the sake of contrast. And I finished the whole manicure right here. It took me about an hour and a half, and this is the final product, recorded 5 days later. That's why there is a little bit of growth. My nails go pretty quickly, but I'm obsessed with this design and these nails, the colors, everything is just pure perfection. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please comment, like, share, and subscribe for more. And if you like this kind of videos, I will be more than happy to share them with you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.